السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا هب لنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري واشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على الراحمين. آمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. We are studying the chapter Layl, and we just had an introductory uh, talk about the verse 15. None shall be cast to it but the most wretched. Ashqa, Shaqi, Ashqa. So, who are they? Who is Ashqa? And the following verse also explains it more in detail what are the qualities of the people who are called here the most wretched. What are they? The following verse says, who calls the truth a lie and turns his back. That's how the most wretched is described. So the blazing fire, none shall be cast into the blazing fire, but shall not be cast to the blazing fire. The blazing fire is for whom? The most wretched one. For the most wretched one, let me ask you, if you don't know, if you are not aware of something, do you think you don't, without knowing, without realizing you harm somebody, do you think you will be punished for it? Very simple question. Without intending, do you think you will be punished for it? Yeah. So that's why the Quran, the verse says, only those, the most wretched ones, will cast to the blazing fire, because they will really burn. For example, if you don't know what you are doing, you are sleeping but harms somebody, do you feel any effect on you that you are being guilty and you feel really sorrow or pain in yourself, psychological pain in yourself? Do you know? I mean, that's quite understandable. So this feeling in us is created by our Creator God to realize, to understand that how He treats us. How He treats us. Everything here, whatever happens here, we think that, I feel in this way or in another way, I feel sorrow, I feel sad about this and that, but we have to bear in mind that all these feelings are given to us in order to complete the sentence.
get to know our Creator.
Yeah, which kind of qualities he has. But we have to be very careful that we shouldn't impose our spoiled. But we have to keep our nature or um, our, our the way we are created. Keep this nature that we are created unspoiled, unsoiled, dirty, or distorted by outside cultures or by our prejudices. By our prejudices. Do you understand? We build our prejudices. We have to watch for it. How can we know which kind of prejudices we might have developed within ourselves? Of course, no, there is no physical meter or gauge that we can check. We have to be conscious of the fact that we may develop within ourselves certain uh, understanding principles, certain prejudices, biases. We have to, if we really question ourselves, ask ourselves, is it really true or is it my my restrictions that I want something in this way, rather than my natural disposition wants it to be in this way. Of course, it depends on everybody's intention. Whether we freely eh, evaluate ourselves, check ourselves, we can understand. But if we put our restrictions, I want something only in this way. And then when we start making analysis of the truth, reality, we try to judge about the truth according to our criteria, which is artificial. That's why we have to check ourselves. Not necessarily that the word is always, I'll tell you that I share with you this understanding that to use intention is misleading. That's why we shouldn't hide ourselves behind the word intention, that we say that my intention is good. But your intention may be good, but you have to question why have you decided that, or why you have decided about something that it must be in this way. Is it we have our, let's say, clothes, anything, and we want to put the body, reality, clothes is artificial, yeah, into this body to make it fit there. If the body doesn't fit into the dress I have, there are two options. One is to change the cloth. The other one is to chop the body according to the shape and the capacity of the cloth. What we usually do, we build up our own worldview. And then try to get the truth to fit into our already decided, how do you say, fixed worldview. And if it doesn't fit the truth out there into our already decided truth or decision or decided cloth, what we do, we start cutting the body, chopping the body from here and there to fit it into. If we cannot do it, we deny that this is not the real body. I need a real body which will fit into my already decided dress, if you like. It means artificial worldview. That's why we have to be absolutely free. We have to learn this. Is it easy? Not at all. To be absolutely free, it is impossible. There are two types of I couldn't really a pattern that we develop. One is under the influence of the culture outside the world, which makes me feel that I have to fit myself into the society, or I have to prepare myself within the society as it expects me to do according to its own values. Do you understand? Am I making sense? The other one is, it's interesting, we have our understanding of religion, which is inherited from outside culture, but cultural religion, when I say culture, everything is culture. But cultural religion means a religious values and principles or understandings inherited from the previous generation. From the previous generation means really from the community, and I feel that, but this inherited culture is accepted without questioning. It is imitated. For example, you may have an understanding of the hereafter. Where did you learn it? From the environment, from the culture. You may. So what you do now, when you read the Quran, the Quran, let's take it as an example. To try to understand the message of the Quran in order to make it fit into my artificial expectation of or understanding of religion. And if it doesn't fit, then you say it must be wrong. That this understanding is wrong because it doesn't fit my expected understanding of religion, my developed or artificially developed my understanding of religion. Most of the misunderstandings, not only misunderstanding, most of the criticisms come from this. We have a certain understanding of, let's say, we studied last week, blazing fire. What you have received from culture, blazing fire, the people will be thrown into, cast to the fire, then they will burn, and then they will be given another body, and they will burn. So when the Quran describes something, it is the result of unbelief. We don't bring it to our present life because in present life there is no fire. And we get surprised. We say, no, it can't be. This understanding is wrong. So take it out of our practical present life and send it to the hereafter, and there it will happen. Someone comes, there are many people, but I come and tell you, it's nothing to do with it. There is no flames and fire. What? It can be. You see what I mean? Because it doesn't fit into your developed, already accepted pattern of understanding certain concepts related to religion. That is one side. The other side, we mentioned, outside world. We have an image of outside world. You know, the values of the outside world. Outside world means really not a word of understanding of a word which is not developed within yourself. It is imposed from outside. We make the decision now. The religion or the source, let's say, trying to understand the Quran must present an understanding that will not contradict what my expectations, which is influenced and shaped by the outside culture, non-Quranic culture, let's put it in this way. But this non-Quranic culture may be totally non-religious culture, or the secular culture, maybe on the other side, on the other extreme side, maybe what?
Religious.
Say, religious culture, the concepts you have inherited through the culture. It may not fit that. These are both outside cultures. What we have to do, we have to free ourselves, open ourselves, make ourselves comfortable about the truth that the Quran, oh, you don't see my thing, that the verse, whatever the verse says, let me understand it with my true, unspoiled, unconditioned nature, which is called in Arabic, because this word doesn't have an equivalent word they call it natural disposition. Still, not really, but my own disposition, which is in Arabic fitra. Fitra, the way I am formed, I am shaped, I am created by my creator, not the way I deformed it. I reshaped it according to my expectations. And then it doesn't make sense. Otherwise we say it doesn't make sense. You know why it doesn't make sense? Not that is your natural expectation contradicts what you understand from the verse, not the natural expectation, natural disposition doesn't fit what the verse says, but your acquired artificial expectations doesn't fit. Mostly, actually I say mostly, it's not mostly really, all the time. Because by definition, it is very simple. To solve this problem, although I made it complicated, I couldn't really explain it properly. It's very simple. This is a serious question. I wouldn't say serious question, serious matter. I would say serious illness in us. We don't realize. It's very easy to solve this problem, to overcome this problem. Why? I understand from this Eshka, it is translated as the most wretched. It means deliberately going against the truth, not trying not to accept it, not to submit to it, because it doesn't fit into my expectations. But the solution is very simple. Try to empty yourself from all previous culture, religious or otherwise. Empty. And use your own feeling. Use your feel free, feel free. Although the outcome may not fit into your hopes, wishes, feel free. Don't be afraid that I am going to uh, deny or deviate from truth, because the truth is not truth really. It is you, it is the framework, it is the pattern you yourself have developed, formed. It's not the truth. Because by definition, if the Quran, that's by definition, you don't have to accept it at first, by definition. If the Quran, as it claims to be the word of your creator, right? By definition, it should never contradict your reality. Your creator is speaking to you, knowing how he created you. But the problem is, it is very easy. The problem is we spoil, we condition our, our nature, our natural disposition. That's why it doesn't fit. We have certain expectations. We have certain concerns. When we read the Quran, when we read the verse, we expect the verse to mean what, according to what I expect it to be. Not, I don't want to, I'm not prepared to listen to it, what it says with my unspoiled nature. The fear is this: I may not be ready. For example, I am an alcoholic. I don't want to, I'm not ready, I don't feel ready to quit drinking alcohol. I'm not ready this. When I read the Quran, I look an excuse to justify it because I'm not ready. I don't want to face with my reality, contradicting myself with the truth. Don't be afraid of it. That's why the Quran keeps telling us that be careful not to commit shirk. It means don't make anything else into an object of worship. It means don't give any or don't attach any value, anything which may be the source of existence. Don't give any value to anything else. So the Quran keeps telling us that be careful about committing this mistake. It means really assigning some sort of divine qualities to anything other than the creator of the universe. Altogether. Very simple. If you have any concern, make yourself ask this question to yourself: is this point can be the creator of anything, whatever it is? For example, in the example I said, the clear example, alcohol. Can the source of the thing I get from alcohol be creator of anything? Everybody knows that it can't. Are you with me? But Alcohol cannot be the creator of anything. I would say, why am I expecting a pleasure after drinking alcohol then? Yes, I am. I am not ready to quit. So Quran says, okay, don't attach any power to create, any power to the alcohol as to be the creator of the pleasure. But if you keep drinking, that is completely another matter. Don't confuse it. Don't try to justify it because you are not ready to quit. Am I making sense? So Quran says, don't worry about your sins. It means drinking alcohol in this example. Yeah, drinking alcohol. But be extremely careful not to attach any value to anything other than the creator of the universe. Because any human being cannot justify, none of the human beings cannot justify that a part of this world can be the source of existence of anything. Are you with me? Does it make sense? No one can show that this can be the creator of something. No one can demonstrate it, can bring an evidence. Quran also always repeats that if you assign, which is very important again in the Quranic terminology, in the Quranic way of understanding, Quran emphasizes on it on various several occasions. Satan deceived human beings. Be careful. Yeah. Satan whispered. Satan made him or her forget. Satan. Quran doesn't accuse human beings. Be careful. Why? Because human nature, the way we are created, is pure. There is no fault, defect in our creation. The aim of the Quran is this. Look, if you keep your nature pure, unspoiled, you will never make a mistake. But outside influence, it means not from your creation, but you assume something else and put it in your creation and mix with your or make your feelings under the influence of this acquired bias, prejudices. That's why you say, for example, if someone says, I am a kafir, I don't believe in God, no one says that. I don't believe in God. In fact, it is not him who is not believing in God. Why? It is the influence of something adopted by this person and assumed that it is what he is. Do you see what I mean? And then belief in God does not fit into this artificial, acquired, spoiled character. That's what Quran says. This is the influence of Satan. Inspirations of Satan, whisperings of Satan. Satan doesn't come and talk like this, drink alcohol, drink alcohol. No. What Satan represents? Anything not from your creation, your disposition, but acquired and adopted artificially by you, and you shaped your creation or really deformed your creation with the effect of outside world. That is your acquisition. It doesn't come to you without your choice. That is your acquisition. But at the same time, Quran says this acquisition of yours destroys your fitra. Are you comfortable with the word fitra? The way you are created destroys your fitra. But in fact, your real being does not contradict the truth I present to you. Do you get it so far? I know you want to ask the question, but I want to settle down here first. Do you get it? Really? Do you understand? If you understand, you will solve lots of problems. This is Satan's inspiration. It means external sources are adopted by you, and you distorted your disposition, your original factory settings. That's why the machine doesn't work properly. Do you get it? That's why it doesn't work properly. That's why you don't understand the truth properly. Because you made yourself dirty, and through the dirty lens, you don't see the truth. But this is the we have to see that the lens of our fitra is clean. When you cannot see something properly, it means something external landed on it, blurred it, or blocked it. That's why not your fitra contradicts the truth, but your acquired knowledge, no, acquired, sorry?
Perception.
Say it again, somebody say.
Perception.
Acceptance or prejudices, biases, your acquired biases makes you not understand the reality. That is Satan. Don't wait somebody out there. That is Satan. The Quran says Satan has no power over you. Sultan, with the language of the Quran. Power over you. But you appoint power to it. It means, let's say there's a dirt here, and my lens is here. Now, the dirt out there here, does it affect my lens to see the object in front of it clearly? No, but if I bring it and put it on my lens of the camera, then when I take a picture, what I see? There is something wrong there in what I see. But in fact, there is nothing wrong in what you see. You appointed a Satan on your lens, then the lens sees that one, not in reality out there. Did you get so far? So we have to understand these whisperings of Satan. It is delicately told in the Quran, but I don't remember the verse number, etc. But in the course of time, we may come to this, studying these verses, and we can discuss there. The Quran makes this one clear, very clear. For example, there are many examples, all the whisperings of Satan. Satan did this, Satan did this, devil did this. All these descriptions are external factors adopted by you, and accepted. It is reality. Look, I'm looking at it, looking through my fitra, but the fitra has adopted some dirt on it. And you see, look at the camera, you can see it easily. There is a spot there, there is a stain there. We have to wake up and question whether this stain is on the lens my lens of my camera, or in reality out there. You get it? We have to be free to question this. I know you want to say something. To question this. To question what? Whether my criteria, my measurements are according to my nature or according to my acquired values, decisions, acquired under the influence of anything. For example, I don't think there is one in this class because they can stand our class. If someone has a certain understanding of religion, heard from the culture, not necessarily from Egypt, but there is an Egyptian problem. So, no, not only Egyptians, others also may have it. There's another one from Egypt. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, there are some, not necessarily from the culture, from street, even the cafe, from cafe culture, right? From Friday sermon culture. Now, they come here, we say, لا يصلها إلا الأشقى. It means the most wretched, only the most wretched one is cast to the blazing fire, and the most wretched one is the one who has dirtied his lens. Wow. No, those people who deny God will go to will be thrown into the blazing fire. Where do you get this idea? And deny the truth. Do you understand? Under the influence of religious culture. Inherited and adopted, accepted without questioning, blindly, taking it for granted because great sheikh says, the scholar says, the text says. They narrate the verse or hadith literally. When you narrate this verse and hadith literally, it means it is against the spirit of the revelation teaching. But also definitely he will destroy his nature. And he will try to understand the other parts of the Quran according to his culture. That doesn't make sense. But of course, some people decide that, look, we will study that. Again, in the Quran, which says most of the people develop, invent with the Quran, the Quranic verse, devise, invent, fabricate, and notion. A notion. The Quran says a name, a title, a word, or a technical things, how are they called? Term. No. Yeah, maybe term, a term. I'm very allergic to this word. I keep coming up with this word. It is very important. Nature. Yeah. Now, they coin, they fabricate the word like nature and attribute everything to it. After you accept and put the word nature on your lens, what you will see now, whatever happens in the world is natural. It makes sense. My camera shows it. I am sure I am experiencing it in the lab. Do you see what I mean? I am a scientist, impartial, non-biased scientist. What I see in the lab, as a result of my experience, I am telling you this how it is happening naturally. But naturally is adopted terminology. that he imagined. That's what Quran says. At least in 3 places, openly says, this is nothing but the vocabulary you invented, which has no truth. That is Satan. That is Satan. That nature develops. It is happening naturally. It happens like this always. Where is God? Where is the Creator? I don't see anything. Always 2 things come together and happens in this way, results in this way. That's how it is. Look at the language. Look at the language. It is all pre-adopted terminology, and everything we experience put into this terminology and make it fit into this terminology and justify it, saying that, look, there is no need to believe in God. Here it is, the things are happening by themselves. Look at it. Does it make sense? Yeah, if you see the things happening by themselves, if you want to see the things happening by themselves and never question whether it has the quality of divinity, divine quality, creative quality. If you don't question that, for example, let's say an atom or 2 atoms come together and make the molecule. They say, look, can an atom come by itself together? Can it choose it? Can it decide about it? Don't question. Because what I say here, they are coming together and the result is a molecule. And molecules come together, make the something, whatever, the human body or living beings, whatever. Living by itself. And they feel very comfortable. But at the beginning, what they did, they appointed a Satan as an authority on their way of interpreting the things. But this Satan has no power of itself. For example, the word nature represents nothing. The Quran says that Satan has no power of itself, no evidence that it is true. Do you get it so far? This is what the most wretched people deviating themselves knowingly. The following verse says, who calls the truth a lie? He, in fact, this person, in fact, from his own nature, knows that this is not true, but that is his prejudice, bias idea, declares it as a lie. It means wrong, denies the truth. Did you get this verse? It is, and turns his back, it was denies and said, no, it has nothing to do with reality, so I don't want it. I don't want to deal with imaginary mythologies. Religion in their language is mythology, because it doesn't fit into their expectations, their pre-accepted vocabulary, terminology, which has no truth, no reality. Did you get this? Why do they كذب? It means really calls the truth a lie. They deny it, they reject it. If they think that, that's why. If they think they will understand. But at this we have to ourselves ask myself, that this one that I cannot accept, is it because, one, do I have appointed any Satan on my nature or my lens? One. Two, because I cannot give up drinking, I know I cannot do it now. So my prejudice to justify it. What's wrong with it? I'm not harming anybody when I get drunk. A little bit. It doesn't make me drunk. I can really control myself perfectly. What's wrong with it if I drink it just a little bit? Sip on some wine or something, a little bit. So what? I don't lose my consciousness. What's wrong with it? Look, even if you don't lose your consciousness, even if you are not ready to give up, but be honest, true to yourself, true to yourself. Is it a really good thing to be in touch with something which intoxicates you? Many people are suffering from alcoholic people. Many people are suffering. So it must be left aside, but I am not ready to do it. Quran says, okay. Do you see what I mean? Okay means just only you accept that it is not right and what my direction is true, and then accept it. It will be easy for you to give up, to quit alcohol. But if you don't give the opportunity to choose, to get into your mind, into your understanding, you never try. So we make distinction between sinning and denying, right? Now, sinning and denying. Yeah, sinning is committing against the how to say rules of the religion presents to you. Okay, sinning. For example, not being able. It's very difficult for me to wake up for morning prayer. Early morning prayer. As the summer comes now, the nights are short. You don't get enough sleep before the sunrise, so you have to wake up and pray just to get together yourself and be in the presence of God and go back to sleep again. So difficult. Okay, don't worry about it. You may not wake up. Don't worry about it. That doesn't mean that you may not pray. No, no, no. Careful. How the process starts and develops. Don't worry about it. Do you think it is worth for a human being to wake up to a new day, presents to you the most beautiful bounties of God, anew, afresh? Is it really correct? Is it really correct to welcome the bounties of God? Although I cannot wake up, all right, but is it really correct for a human being to welcome the bounties of God and uh, admire it, admit it, submit to its beauty, and accept that this is a bounty from your Creator? Although you don't do it, don't force yourself to do it. Come on, forget about it. But do you think it's a good thing to do? If a person thinks freely, no, I'm free now, okay? I'm free not to wake up, all right? But to wake up is a good thing, really, to welcome the new bounties, fresh bounties of my God. If only I could do it, but I don't do it. No. Now, how dare I say this? Look, if someone is with a big beard, they will declare me as a Catholic, then he said, don't come share. Well, they take it, Bedouins, they take it, ordinary people, general public, take it easy. Okay, I believe in one God, that's finished. They think that it is all about it. It's all right at their level, not your, at their level. So, okay, and then you have to pray 5 times a day. What? 5 times a day. In one day, 5 times? Oh, I can't do that. This is the Bedouin speaking to the Prophet. The ordinary man, speaking to the Prophet. But and then how many times you can do it? 2, 3, okay, do it. And religious companions around him. Ya Rasulullah, is it okay to pray 3 times a day? Yeah. What is that? It's very interesting, amazing. Let him do it 3 times a day. He will get the taste of it, make it 5. Don't worry. No. That's why we have to keep away from, we have to be aware not to deny the truth, even though we may not be able to fulfill it. You see what I mean? Don't worry about it. Because it is the only solution that you can get out of this sinning. First, accept it, face reality, and then say, okay, I cannot do it, but it should be done. Yeah, I cannot pray 5 times a day. Yeah, but it should be done. It is true. Yeah, I have to wait. Oh, I'm not ready for it, forget about me. One, if one wakes up in the morning and welcomes the fresh presence of God, bounty of God, and says, I'm very pleased that you are giving me this present, this gift of today. Okay? I'm very pleased. It is a good thing to do, but I'm not ready to do it. Forget about it. What's a good thing to do? Do you think this man is likely to wake up in the course of time? He's ready. But if someone tries to justify his adopted, distorted understanding and tries to fit what the Quran says, God says to him, do this, and he says, no, it doesn't fit. Oh, it is difficult. Come on, which kind of merciful God you are, asking me to wake up with the morning, so some sort of torture. No, I'm not ready. And then what he does, either denies it, and he will never recover from this thing. And he will never be able to wake up again because he didn't appreciate the truth. If someone appreciates the truth, it is in our fitrah, in our nature, we try to catch it up. We try to, how do you say, fulfill it. I don't know the word. Fulfill it. We try to do it, but never ever deny it. So denial is the most important thing. Not being able to do comes secondary. It is not the great deal. So the hell, in fact, don't pay attention, or to me, it doesn't make sense to me. Hell is, they say, hell is for the sinners. No. Hell is for the deniers. Because they cannot get out of it. But if a person is a sinner but accepts the truth, it can get out of this sin easily. That's why the descriptions of hadith, if you read hadith, I don't suggest to read the hadith before understanding the Quran. But if you read it, if you hear the people telling you that Allah will put even the believers into the hell and they will burn there. And after a while, after that, if they had a grain of belief in their heart, they will be saved. But after billions of years. So that's what they say. Don't you hear that? Even the believers will go in a little bit, roasted there, and then go to the. It is just imaginary word. What it means, in fact, is very easy. It's very easy to understand. It's not difficult at all. If you don't deny, and accept that something is to be done or something is to be avoided. We accept it, yeah. It is good to wake up in the morning, but it's not for me. I'm sorry, thank you. Right? It's okay. It's okay. And because you believe in it, you accepted the truth, you submitted yourself to the truth, you can get out of this hell. Do you see what I mean? Do you understand? It means keep emphasizing on the truthfulness of this action, that it must be done. But I'm not doing it. Okay, don't do it. But if you say it must be done, this is true. If I did it, it would be an ideal thing. But I'm not ready for ideal world. All right. But it is possible you can get out of this sin. It means you can get out of this hell. Do you understand the Quran? If you really take the wordings of the Quran literally, you cannot solve the problem. Anyway, I will be roasted. Who can accept that being roasted even for once? Yeah? You boil the water in a kettle to make the tea or coffee. If the water, boiling water, the splashes on your head, you run away. It's not burning, just the hot water. I can't stand it. But just one drop of hot water. Let alone burning. I said, okay, God, you can burn me. And then at the end, anyways, after thousands of years, I will be taken out of this hell. At the end, I will be saved. I don't think it is what the Quran means. Quran is teaching us how to get out of sinning by establishing the belief, not denial, confirming the truth first. You can get out of sinning easily. That's what the hadith description is all say, that even the believers will be burned, but they will be taken out of the hell. Hadith literally says this. But it is a description of human psychology, how we can save ourselves from hell in this world. In this world. That's the Quran speaks to me for this world. Never, I keep saying this. Never take the Quran speaks to you for another world. It's nothing to do with me. I will go there, I will see it. What shall I do? Because it's not my reality now. Quran speaks to my reality right now. Quran speaks to my senses right now. Quran speaks to me, tells me something in order to give me the guidance about my life right now. Quran is not giving the guidance. Let's say you want to go to where? Would you like to go to Chicago or something like San Francisco? You want to go to San Francisco, or anywhere in California, it's a nice climate, yeah. And somebody gives you the description of the place that you are going to be beautiful or very ugly, don't go or go, it's beautiful, etc. Why is he speaking to you? Look, when I go there, I will see whether it's beautiful or really unbearable or ugly place. But why do you speak to me? It speaks to you in order to encourage you now to get ready for it. Now. Otherwise, there is no need to talk about the place we are going to go and see. Do you understand this? No. Aren't you going to San Francisco? Yes, you will. But the one who describes the scenery in California that you are going to face is describing it in order to encourage you right now to go there. It means right now. We have to take the lesson from this teaching in order to give a shape, right shape ourselves to understand the speech of my Creator who speaks to me right now in this world. Otherwise, if He frightens me about something, about something that I am not experiencing now, I don't really feel it within my own creation, within my own nature. I don't really feel it. But when you understand that the Quran is speaking to me now, when the Quran says they will be thrown into the blazing fire, I have to say, I have to understand that if I call the truth a lie or give a lie to the truth, I will be in the blazing fire. Am I? Now? Yeah. Yes. If you decide or accept anything which contradicts your nature, you are in trouble. You may think that because of my the job position, I lost the job, I don't have enough income, that's why I am really in a trouble, I have some problems because of the because I have lost my job, I have no place to live, that's why I am comfortable. They are all false. They are all false because of your misinterpretation of the situation right now makes you feel uncomfortable, disturbed, distressed, because you are misinterpreting the situation right now, making yourself fall into despair and have a negative attitude towards creation and criticize. Criticize it. When you criticize something, what do? You are a doctor. All right. A patient comes to you. Let's say one of you is a doctor, the other one is a patient. All right? Comes to you. Listen, let's talk about Murad. Murad, how can I help you, sir? Yeah, well, you paid, huh? You paid, that's for sure. That's how the things work. Okay? All right, here is my receipt. Okay. So how can I help you now? And you become a sir after you pay. All right? Okay. And you said, I have some, let's say, pain in my shoulder. All right? Shoulder joints. He says, what did you do? Did you lift anything heavy? Did you keep it cold? Or did you make something wrong with it? Accuses you, accuses you, accuses you. The doctor. Do you take any advice from this doctor? We have to read the Quran as the speech of my Creator, not accusing me. Right? Did you do this? This? So do you have a pain here? Take this one, do this, do that in order to cure the pain. We have to listen to the Quran as a doctor is speaking to a patient. The doctor does not accuse the patient. What does he do? Guides how to cure his disease. Take this as a principle. When you read the Quran is not really frightening me, threatening me, that God can really revenge on you and definitely will destroy you, etc. No. It is speaking to me in order to guide me, to go into the way that I am created, devoid of purified from the outside influences, which are Satan's whisperings. Satan's whisperings. Try to clean yourself from Satan's whisperings. Be yourself. You can do that. You can just say, is it my prejudice? Or is it my true nature? Which one? Look at, question yourself. You can analyze yourself. You understand. You understand. It must be possible. Otherwise, the speech of the Creator wouldn't guide me at all. If it wasn't possible to see my real mirror. Look, outside is exactly the same always as it is, right? The problem is our mirror. How do we see it? The truth outside there, the problem is in the mirror. Did I crack it? Did I dirty it? Did I deform it? Accordingly, how do I see it outside? According to the condition of my mirror. Outside world is the same. So if you see something not doesn't really fit, doesn't really look nice, something is wrong, the buildings look upside down or lean somewhere that they are going to fall, what do you have to say? Look, the creation is perfect, don't you know? Don't you know that the universe is perfectly arranged and managed, perfectly created, everything is with wisdom, perfectly done, and nothing is unconsciously and crazily done, right? So we know that our nature must be pure. But our nature must be pure. Do you think that if my nature is distorted, dirtied, and then my Creator speaks to me that you will be straight? How can I be? Because my mirror is from its manufacturing conditions is distorted. How do you say manufacturing defect? If the mirror has a manufacturing defect, so we cannot really expect that this mirror will show the reality. And then Quran says, I am truth. I am showing I am showing you the reality. No, you are not, because my mirror is defected by creation. This is what I mean in origin. So if my God says, my Creator says, this is the truth, you can comfortably confirm it, then it means, hey, I created your mirror perfect. Don't dirty it. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the truth as it is. Right? Now, somehow, don't worry about the prayer. We are going to pray soon and without breaking. Yeah, before Isha time. Question you were
So
insisting, but I didn't let you know because to complete the subject.
I think it was in part answered, but my question was because these preconceived notions are so ingrained, how
No, we adopted.
they're adopted, right?
And we made our mirror crack.
Right.
But we made it.
Yes.
Okay.
So they become like habits. So how do I become?
It's a good word. It becomes a habit of thinking ourselves. Yeah.
And habits are hard to pick up on because they're so you just do it kind of mindlessly. So how can I pick up on these preconceived, these adopted concepts? If we go back to your original example with the cloth and the body, okay, so there's different clothing, but first I have to make sure that the body that I have, is the correct one instead of so I don't alter the body to the clothing.
Yeah.
I want to see which clothing fits perfectly first, but
Yeah.
sometimes I can alter the body with these pre.
Body is like the lens, perfect. Body is like the mirror, perfect. What we do, we want to give a new shape to it, and then we spoil the body. It means we spoil the body according to the dress that I preconceived to fit into this dress. To fit into this dress. That's why we shaped it, we cut, we chopped here and there, according to the size of the dress. That is why we feel hurt. We are hurting ourselves. The solution is to just know that if something is happening in you, for example, if you feel that you are unhappy, right? Okay, look at the world. Are the stars unhappy? Are the trees unhappy? Are the birds and animals unhappy? Well, except the ones who are spoiled by human beings. Yeah? Yeah. Is there anything in the forest where human beings do not interfere and mess up? Is there any single living being there unhappy? Why do you think you are unhappy? Be realistic. It means you have spoiled your own mirror. Why everything in the creation will be happy, only you are not happy. Only you. We will pray in a few minutes before the time is up. Yeah? Don't worry about it. Do you understand? Say, what's wrong with me? What's wrong? It means which kind of Satan I appointed on me to dominate me, to patronize me. Find out the Satans. Look for the Satan. But people, the human beings, don't want to see the Satan in themselves.
How do I know that the clothing is not too small or too big?
No.
I understand two parts.
Very easy. Very easy. If you see anything wrong, anything unpleasant outside in the creation, in the forests, right? Created by the creator of the universe purely, then you can say, well, if something makes me unhappy, it means I have a Satan in me. Satan. Do you understand what Satan is now? Yeah? Nobody will come and whisper you, do this. You know, don't go there, don't accept, don't believe in God. Or something. I don't hear anybody, anything. It represents anything negative, which is negative means not created in the original form of the creation, but invented. That's what the Quran says, invented, coined by human beings themselves. Now, this is important, right? This is important. Whatever you say, for example, I must be free. Yeah, you must be free. But you describe freedom. I don't want to put myself under the regulations. I don't want to, for example, I don't want to submit myself to a creator and say that, oh, I have to adapt my free will to the will of the creator of the universe. Am I a slave? Yeah? Slave of the creator of the universe? I'm free. So if you accept this, you will never understand that we have to worship God. We worship ourselves. Why do people worship themselves? Don't you see that? The first thing in the morning, what they do, they spend 2 hours in front of the mirror. Why? They worship themselves. Everybody must admire me. Me. I am the center of the attention. That's why. That is what self-worship. Why do we do that? Because we don't want to submit to the Creator. Why? Our prejudice is, I am free, I must do anything I want. Right? It is 15 past. I see. Thank you for reminding me. Keep reminding me now. Now let's finish it. Yeah. Who calls the truth a lie? I'm puzzled with this. How a person calls the truth a lie, knowing that it is a truth. If he doesn't know, we cannot call him, call this person as mukazib. You know, the kazzaba, I'm using the Quranic word, and the mukazib, the one who calls the truth, he belies it. For example, let me give an example. Let's say there is, which one? This one. Let's put it this one here. All right. There is an iPhone here behind my screen. All right? Behind. Let's assume that I don't know. Ask me, is there an iPhone on the table? Ask somebody.
Is there an iPhone on the table?
No. Am I a liar?
Yeah.
No. I am not Kazib. I am not telling the truth by unknowingly. It is not Kazib. It is jahil. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm innocent. But this is, I think, somebody's iPhone. Okay? I want to just put it in my pocket. And without realizing her, I put it there. And she asked me, have you seen my iPhone on the table? I said, no. I know. It's there in my pocket. I put it in my pocket. This is what lying is. Unknowingly making a wrong statement is not lying. Which means the Quran says if someone calls the truth a lie, he knows from his fitra, from his nature, and denies it because of his assumed, adopted prejudices, biases, adopted from outside. It means assigned. Read the Quran, you will see that. They assigned Satan as a sultan, as an authority on themselves, and God says, Satan has no authority on you. You adopted him as an authority over yourself. That's very Quranic. But we have to understand. If anything wrong in our perception of existence, either existence of something outside there, or in the most important is, what is going on in ourselves, feeling uncomfortable. You have to ask this question. Which kind of Satan I have appointed over me? Let me see. My prejudices, artificial assumptions, prejudices, my own made up stories from myself. Say, it must be so, yeah? Right? This must be so. And then read the speech of your creator. It doesn't make sense. Why? It doesn't match. Why? Because you distorted your mirror. Look at your mirror and say that, but the solution is here. Where I have distorted my mirror, when you see something not fitting, right, not straight, where did I make a mistake in my mirror? What did I do on it? When you ask this question, it means really question yourself. Where did you made the mistake? You can find it. But if you purify yourself, which is also Quran emphasizes on it, those people who claim themselves as to be pure ones, they never will be guided because they will never look at their mirror. They will say something is wrong there because my mirror or my lens of camera lens shows it like this. Don't you see it? They will never be guided, the Quran says. If they claim themselves to be pure, do you understand? It's very Quranic. If you study the Quran, you will see it. So those people who call the truth a lie, then turns his back. It means, no, okay. For example, look at the mirror. The mirror shows that the buildings in Manhattan are really bended, ready to fall, right? Do you go there? It's dangerous. You say, oh, no, I'm not going to Manhattan. The buildings are about to fall down. I don't want to die. That's why you don't go there. Do you see what I mean?
That's why.
That's why they turn back. They turn their back. They turn their back from the truth. Got it? If you get something today, you will solve all your problems if you really are honest to yourself. Feel, how do you say, worry-free life. It's very easy. With yourself and say, Ali, where did you make your mistake again? Which kind of prejudices you have developed? Yeah? Look at yourself. Which kind of expectations, artificial expectations that you created for yourself? The word is understand, created, because you invented yourself. And then when you start looking at yourself, you will find a mistake. Because you will look at the mirror, there is a dirt here. There is a crack here. Correct it, look at it, fix it. What is in the creation must fit to your creation, because you are the part of that perfect creation. In the whole universe, look at the whole universe. Yeah? As the Quran says, do you see any crack? Anything not really fitting? Everything is perfect. Have you seen any meteor or something really clashing and causing problems in the creation? Everything is perfect. With that harmony works. Yeah? Your feelings also must work within harmony. You will feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, tell yourself. Don't say, why God created this one for me? He put me in the trouble. He doesn't. Be careful. Your interpretation is wrong. Turn yourself, you will understand. Inshallah, there is a cue for us to solve our problems here. And I was excited to talk about this. Call the truth a lie. What does it really mean? Really mean? And how can we apply it to our life? We have to pray. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم الحمد لله رب العالمين.